Hello, everybody. This is Coach Meidenbauer for AP Pre-Calculus 3.6 Part B, graphing the sinusoidal functions. I think this is super important for us moving forward for AP Pre-Calculus because from time to time we'll need to know what behaviors of sinusoidal functions are going on, whether we're doing inequalities or we're graphing polar functions. So I think it's a really important topic that we master. If you notice here in the directions, we're just graphing one cycle. So we're just going to go one period on these. We're going to identify the amplitude, the period, and the translations. Let's just get at it. Okay, here we go. So for H here, if I'm looking at this one, we have an amplitude here of 2. So our amplitude is 2. We don't have anything going on weird with the period because our B value is 1. So because of that, our period is going to be 2 pi over 1. Okay, if our B value is different, we would change it. Yeah, this is equal to 2 pi over B. Okay, so this is the B value right here, as you can see. So our period is 2 pi. We did not get shifted, so my starting point, my starting x value, x equals 0. And then this right here is going to be where my midline is. So we're going to have a midline of y equals -5. All right, so I'm going to come on over here. And since I have a starting point of 0, it's going to go right here. And my period is 2 pi. So that's my last part of my cycle. Okay, so I have 5 points here. So the endpoints are where we start is the left side. And then we add the period to get the last point. So 0 plus 2 pi is 2 pi. And then from here, it's going to kind of fill it in. Between 0 and 2 pi is a pi. Just add and then divide by 2. Between 0 and pi would be pi over 2. And then if we add pi and 2 pi, we get 3 pi divided by 2 is going to give me a nice 3 pi over 2. Okay, I can now draw my y-axis, and I will do that in black here. So my y-axis is right here. This is my x-axis. And then my midline, I'm going to label this at -5. Okay. Since my amplitude is 2, I'm going to go up from -5 2 and down from -5 2. So I'm going to label this right here as -3 and this one down here as -7. So this is all that you need to label for this. Okay. And from here we can get everything. All the important parts are there. I'll sketch this in green. So since this is sine, we're going to start on the midline. Oh, actually, you know what, too? Real quick, I'll kind of just sketch that midline out here. Okay, so that's my midline. I'll go red as the upper part. And then I'll go this red as the lower part. So you can kind of see where our graph is going to fit in here. So we're going to be on the midline. And then since it's a positive sign, sine starts on and then up, then on, then down, then on. So this is what sine looks like after all our transformations. So we can sketch it like this. Okay. And that's just one cycle of the graph of 2 sine theta minus 5. Okay, super simple. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so same idea where we are going to get our amplitude here. The A value in front is 1, so the amplitude is 1. The B value now is going to be pi over 2. So our period is going to be 2 pi over 2. Dividing fractions is as easy as pi. You flip the second and you multiply. So this will be a 2 over pi. Pi's cancel out. So my period is 4. Okay. My starting at equals 0 because there's no C value to shift. And my midline is at y equals positive 1. Okay, so I'm starting at 0 because I did not shift this right or left. My period is 4. So I'm going to end up on over there. So the middle between 0 and 4, add the two numbers, divide by 2, you're going to get 2. 1 and 3. And so now my y-axis is right there. My midline is right here at 1, and I'll even do my little dashes right here. That's not asymptotes. It's not anything other than just a guidance for us. Amplitude is 1, so I'm going to go up 1 more to 2, and I'm going to go down 1 more to 0. So my top I can be is 2, and my bottom here is going to be here at 0. And now I'll do this in purple. Cosine is up and then on and then below and then on and then above. So it starts with the maximum, then we're on the sinusoidal axis, then we're bottom. Looks like this, and we're not going to connect these dots and make these into a V. Make sure that we have points of inflection on our midlines. Okay, so we're going to go concave up to concave down, back to concave up. Okay, so it kind of sort of looks like that. Okay, any questions? Good, no questions. Last example we're going to do here. This one's got a lot going on. Totally fun, totally fantastic. I'm excited for it. Okay, so let's start with the amplitude here. The amplitude is 4. This B value is pi over 5. So my period is 2 pi over pi over 5, which is 2 pi over 1. Flip the second and multiply is 10. I'm going to start at x equals, this is my C value now, okay? So it's going to start at x equals 3 because it's getting shifted to the right 3, okay? So it's going to start at 3 because it's minus 3. If it was plus 2, we would start at negative 2, okay? And then we would have our midline here. Midline is going to be y equals negative 2, and I get that from that last value right there. Okay, so I'm starting at 3. I'm ending not at 10. I'm adding 10 later because my period is 10. So my last number here is going to be at 13. Okay, add those together, divide by 2. You're going to get 8. And here, add those together, divide by 2. I'm going to get 11 halves, or 5.5, same thing. Add these two together, divide by 2. It's 10.5 or 21 halves. Doesn't really matter. So now for this one, since we're not at 0, I'm going to just kind of extend this out here and just make this axis magically appear right there. Because again, I only care about me graphing between the 3 and the 13. All right, let's go ahead and tackle our midline. Our midline is here at negative 2. I'm going to kind of exaggerate this a little bit. Negative 2. Since I'm going to exaggerate this so much, I'm going to actually extend this so I have more room to work with. So I'm at negative 2. If my amplitude is 4, 4 above negative 2 would be 2. 4 below negative 2 would be negative 6. This blue right here is my midline. And then I'll have this red up here be my maximum value, and this be my minimum value. And I'll do this in the color, let's go pink. Okay. Everything is set up. So let's go ahead and plot our first point. Our first point, this is going to be a sine graph, so we're starting on. So I'm going to start right here, and then we're going to go up. I'm going to go back on, down right here, and we're going to go on right here. Point of inflection, change concavity there. Oop, kind of missed that. You know what? There's something known as the big dot theorem. If you don't hit a dot, just make it bigger until it hits. Okay, so that is the graph of this one for k of theta. Okay, a little bit more going on, a little more shifting, but again, this gives us an idea of what one cycle looks like, and this will be helping us a lot in the long run. You can always even check your values if you want. Like if you're questioning yourself on, hey, what is, just for giggles to check, right here, check. When theta is 8, looking at my graph right here, when theta is 8, it should be at -2. Because you look at the, you can't really see me pointing, I guess. Here, use my little cursor here. At 8, we should be at -2. So even when plugging in 8 right here, you can always check your answer here. You're going to get 4 sine of pi over 5, 8 minus 3, and take away 2. 8 minus 3 is 5, so you're going to get 4 times sine of pi over 5 times 5, cancels out, and minus 2. Sine of pi is 0, so you get 0 minus 2, so that's what you do get -2 here. So it checked. You can do that for each one if you want, if you have a lot of time, but there you go. That's all the tools you need. Now, the only things that might change, just be careful, just making you aware. I don't know what your worksheet says, but let's just say for some strange reason, if this was a -4 right here, how would this change? So quickly, just think about it. How would this change? Okay. How would this change? Well, the first point would still, I'll do this in black so that there's an undo button. Oh, good, there is. So I can erase this afterwards. If this was a negative, we would start right there. Instead of going up, we would go down, then on, then up. So if you notice, it would just reflect across the midline, and then instead we'd go, it'd look like this if it was negative. So I'm just giving you a heads up what that would look like. I will undo all that so that never happened. All right, that's going to wrap up this video. Hopefully you got something out of it. Do not forget to like and subscribe.